Hello friends, this is Chandrakant from Akul Mac Technologies. Welcome to Top Brass. Let me also welcome my friend from UK, Mr. Naval Gunt. Naval, how's the morning in London today?
Good morning, CK. Good morning, everybody. The weather is on the rise. And the good news is the cricket season's here. Yes! So we're all very happy that we're back playing cricket and England are just about to whoop the West Indies. Hopefully, that's a bit maybe a bit presumptuous. There's a full day to go, and we know the English weather might get in the way, but you never know. We might just start the season off with a resounding victory. So, that could be a really good subject for today. What do you see? Where are you? What are you looking at?
Well, from your statements, I am concentrating on the word hopefully. So we shall see as the game progress. But you know what I'm up to? I would like to tell you. I've been reading about the elephant in the room,
Oh,
and
wow.
we have read this particular book or story or a puzzle right from very childhood. And at different phases in our life, we have been given this elephant in the room by teachers, by situation, by bosses to solve this problem. I don't think anybody in this world is perfect to solve this problem. So I think that is what I want to discuss with you about the elephant in the room with four guys blindfolded.
4 guys blindfolded and just an elephant. Wow. Are they at different parts of the elephant? Is one sitting on top of the elephant?
Well, if I remember this correctly from my school days, the teacher used to tell us, this is a puzzle. They will display an image of an elephant with four people with blindfold. And so teacher will say, can these people identify what parts they are holding? I think that is where the puzzle starts. And then it never ends because it's so complex.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And the interesting thing is that the thing that is it's an elephant. But the people that come into the room, because I remember playing this game before, the people that come into the room are all blindfolded. So they don't know what they're looking at. They're just given parts of the elephant to feel, to touch. And I remember one that had the tail, just had the tail. They're only allowed to hold the tail. So imagine now, close your eyes and imagine now feeling the tail of an elephant. What will it feel like? Now, the thing is, it's an elephant. But what if you didn't know it was an elephant and you were feeling it? What would you feel that tail? It could be the tail of a donkey. It could be the tail of a lion. If it was the tail of a lion and you thought you had a lion underneath your hand, you wouldn't touch that tail, would you? Let's face it. So, but what about the other end? If you were given the trunk. Now, how do you know it's a trunk? What does that trunk feel like, do you think? What might it feel like?
Well, when it comes to tail, it may not even feel like a tail at all. It may feel like a rope. So,
Rope could be. In which case you'd tug pretty quickly on the rope, wouldn't you? If you knew nothing else, and if you tug on an elephant's tail and you think it's a rope, don't be too surprised if you get a quick woof from the elephant. So this is anticipation. But I say, let's go to the trunk. What does a trunk feel like?
it will probably feel like a water hose.
Could do. You wouldn't be far wrong there if the elephant had actually sucked up a lot of water and you get that in your face. But it could feel like a snake. Now that changes your mindset, doesn't it?
It will feel like a python, not a normal snake.
Python, not a normal. So now you're thinking one stage further. And what does a python do?
It coils around you and crushes you.
It coils around you. So you'll run away from that. You'll run away from the elephant. But what about the elephant's leg? What about its foot? What would that feel like?
it will feel like a pillar or a tree trunk or something like that.
Yeah, it could feel like a tree trunk. You might want to hug it and find out what it was like. Now, we're still talking about something we know about. We know it's an elephant. But remember, these people don't know what it is. They have no idea that they're touching an elephant. So what's a quick way we can find out what we're touching? Remember, these guys are blindfolded. What can we do?
Well, we can start giving them hints. I think that is
Yep.
similar to a game of dumb charades. So I think it's something like that we can do.
Yep. Or we can be really, really simple. We can say, why don't you take the blindfold off?
Well, that will end the question then.
Let's spoil the game. But the thing is, right, we started with this is the people, unfortunately, it's the elephant in the room. We're dealing with our own elephants and we're so blind to our elephants that we don't actually acknowledge them. So what we need to do is to deal with that elephant, because that elephant, if we keep feeding it, it will be a drag on our performance going forward. It will actually dampen our success. Because the thing about elephants is once you feed them, guess what? They get bigger. And this is a metaphor. So feeding that elephant in the room is the elephant eventually gets so big in the room that you have to maneuver around it. But you're quite happy to maneuver around it because you've done it all your life. But if you're really going to deal with the elephant in the room, and these are probably your behaviors, what's stopping you? You need to identify one behavior that really does stop you. Open your eyes, take the blindfold off, and start to deal with one of those big issues that's stopping you progressing. I was speaking to a guy the other day, and he's a really good salesperson. He runs a team of salespeople. Due to the coronavirus, the company has downsized a bit. The sales manager left, and he's been promoted to that sales manager position. And within a week, he's now not confident. He's not resilient. He feels at risk. He doesn't enjoy what he's doing. And the list goes on and on. And the reason is that his company have created the elephant in the room. They've got a fantastic salesperson meeting all outstanding, all records, all expectations, outperforming the rest of the team. And now he's been promoted. He's been given a promotion into the sales manager role. But they've made a big mistake because they've created the elephant in the room. So we can easily do this sort of stuff, you know. He's a great salesperson because he's very determined, he's very confident, he knows his subject, he cultivates relationships with his customers, his clients. He shares with the team, and that's why he's been given the manager's slot, but he's not a manager. So just think about today those things that you actually physically create to block your success. So just if you're in that promotion arena, if you're going to promote someone, ask them if they want the promotion. It's such a simple question, isn't it? No? We just assume people want promotion.
Well, let me say a few words on this one. I think because I've dealt with this situation just like you several times. I think there are two kinds of professionals, and obviously there is an elephant in the room. And people themselves don't know what type they are. There is one type which is a maverick. They'll go get things done, like the sales manager you're talking about. The other type is a people manager. They don't know anything about delivery, but they manage people very well. So if I have to go back in history, during Second World War, Montgomery was a better general. So he was a go-getter. But Eisenhower was a people manager. He was a politician. So he was chosen as a combined chief of army for the Allied forces. So I think that is a difference. And if you open this up to people, everybody wants to get the Eisenhower position. If you ask Montgomery, he will be also pissed off. Hey, I didn't they didn't promote me to lead the Allied invasion. They brought somebody from US. So I think that is where the problem is. People themselves don't know their strength, and obviously there is elephant in the room. There is a lot of ignorance.
Yeah, it's funny. We haven't spoken about this before, but I will sometimes use that as a good example. And if you take the first parts of their surname, so Eisen and Monty, okay, and you call it Eyes on Monty, you got to have your eyes on Monty. You got to have your eyes on Monty, but you're a people manager. So constantly have your eyes on. Yeah, I'm glad you're laughing. It doesn't necessarily translate everywhere, but it is just a simple example of, we need both people, really. We need people that can manage people, get the best out of people, but we also need people that can deliver. So if you've got a manager that also delivers, whatever you do, recognize it and don't let them go. Make them feel part of the team. Give them opportunity to grow, because they will grow your team. It's pretty simple stuff when you think about it, but it's not actually that common. So just from the elephant in the room, we go to this Eyes on Monty. Amazing, isn't it?
Well, it is amazing. Probably Eisenhower realized that this is going to happen, so he changed his nickname to Ike.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know that too, and that you can't do anything with Ike.
But Neville, coming from India, where designation is everything, people think that you have to become a manager, then you have to become a senior manager, then you have to become a vice president, then president. And if you're not one of them, you have not done anything in life. But I don't think that is true. And that is why there is elephant in the room. In my career, when I used to work for multinational companies, I've seen people, their designations were only architect. An architect in India is like a very small guy. He has no value in the company. He is just nobody. He has been given a job. He will design things, and that's it. End of story. You keep sitting there, be quiet, don't talk. But I have come across architects who own the private planes, who own their own lake, and they have their lakeside villa, and they travel to San Francisco every day on their plane, and there is a car waiting. So they have a parking place for the plane. They fly from their lake house, they land in SFO seafront, Pier 39. They have a sports car waiting. They go to the office, and their designation is only architect. And they're having a ball of a time. They're enjoying themselves. So I think that is very important. You have to understand what you do, what you're good at, and not really keep running about something which is not your strength.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I often pull people's leg about designation. You see it a lot on the speaker circuit, where someone's introduced as they've got a BSc, they've got an MPhil, they're a doctorate of this, a doctorate of that, they've got an MBA in this, they're on this board, that board, and every other board. And by the time people have been introduced, everyone's going, "What time is it?" What we know why the person's here. The bio could have been sent previously. If the person's going to be a speaker, the likelihood is they're on LinkedIn. All the preparation that other people should be doing, and about creating excitement for yourself. This is the person I'm going to see. This is why I want to see it. It's all being done for us. And the thing about that is, it's creating a huge elephant in the room. It's creating our laziness. We're passing on laziness. We're stopping people thinking. It's just my opinion, frankly. But when you start to think of it that way, yeah, I mean, why should you be introduced other than, CK, president of Ackelmac? That should do, you know? I remember when I left corporate life, I was told, Neville, you need to get a business card. And I thought, well, why do I need a business card? I'm not going to be doing any business, I'm going to retire, So anyway, I succumbed to it because I was volunteered for almost everything. For my wife wanted to get me out of the house mostly. So I got a business card and it just said Neville Gaunt. That was it. It's my name, Neville Gaunt, and it just had my mobile number, and that's all it had on the business card. And the interesting thing is that caused more upheaval in the people that I was giving that business card to than I ever thought was possible. Because typically, if you go to a networking arena, people will pass their business card as you go and talk to them. Someone might introduce you to them, and the first thing they do is they go into their top hand pocket. It's almost like it's the business person's performance. Can you get your business card out quick enough? Beat the other one. It's like a quick draw. Are you ready, CK? Ready? 1, 2, 3, draw. There's the business card. And it happens all the time. And this is typically in the UK type of environment. Of course, if you go to the Far East and the Middle East, actually, you present your business card. It's almost like a two-handed presentation. This is me. This is who I am. I would be very grateful if you were to accept my card. It's a whole different language. We could go on this forever. But it caused, just by having my name and my mobile, no web address, no email, no nothing, someone said, so who are you? And it said, well, it says on the card, it says Neville Gaunt, I mean, I was there just to have fun. I wasn't there to generate business. I was there to have fun and, help people along. But it really did throw people, because their elephant in the room was a business card should say this, and that then gives me an opportunity to have a conversation. Well, my business card didn't say anything, but it stopped them having the conversation. So this automatic process, there was an elephant that all of a sudden got in the middle of the room, completely threw them, almost like, you're going round the moon and you're going to slingshot to Saturn, that's more or less how it got them. And you can have a lot of fun doing that, by the way. So anyone listening out there that's got this far today, you could have a little bit of fun. Print a business card that just says your name on it and see what happens. See how far you can get with the conversation.
Well, Neville, I have come across this situation in real life, and it is very, very intimidating. It's really, really, you think, who's this guy, all that. So there's an organization here, which is a very large organization in India. They have a tradition not to mention any designation on the card. So if you bring a card, you will only see the name there. And you don't know who's the head of what and who's head of finance. And so you don't know, exactly. And the other thing these guys have done is they have always maintained that you will not have one role in the company. So if you're a CIO of a group, you will be CEO for one other group. So it's like a completely meshed up organization, and it works beautifully. They are like huge organization. I think the turnover they are in the top 16 or 20 worldwide. But you don't know who's doing what. A man without a designation. That's how they are.
It's brilliant, because in this day and age, it actually forces things that we talk about in the value statement. It forces respect, because you don't know who this person is, and all it says is their name. You need to go on a scouting expedition. You need to explore. And when you're in exploring mode, you will ask questions. Because otherwise you're never going to know who this person is, you know.
And the funny thing is that each person has a dual responsibility. So you don't know who's calling the shots because he's
Exactly. It used to be, I think, there used to be something in the army, and I think it was developed during the Korean War, where because the Korean War was one of these almost like guerrilla wars, where you didn't know if there was a sniper in the hills or the trees, so you would never salute when you're outside the camp. And even then, you wouldn't salute necessarily inside the camp because snipers, you know, they don't care. You know, these camps are not fortified. You know, we're not talking about the Middle Ages here with huge castles. You know, these were just camps with perimeters, and they wouldn't salute. And I suppose that, in some respects, you know, says, well, I'm not going to give anyone else a clue here. I'm not going to salute, you know, the people in charge. But we know who the people in charge are. And it does generate, from those that are not in the know, it does generate a very different behavior pattern right from the outset. It actually sets the tone for the organization. I mean, you can imagine walking into that organization on day one, can't you? And they're having a networking introduction. There could be 100 people that are absolutely new. And the chief exec's there, the CFO's there, the CIO, the CHRO, they're all there, okay? But you have no idea who they are. They could be handing a cup of coffee to you, because I've seen that happen as well, you know, because these people are real. They're integrated into the organization. I haven't seen it more than once. I know the Indian company you're specifically talking about, and they've done this for a number of years. It works really successfully. Having a second job, you know, when you're a large organization like that, it's easy. You can be the CIO and you can be on the board of a subsidiary doing a completely different role. What that does is it gives you a really broad opinion of what's happening in the business. It's the best form of development that you can have. You have to be fairly large to be able to do it. But here's an example. If you're the chief exec of a small company, why don't you go and be a non-exec director of another company? Even if you do it for nothing, you know, go and offer your advice, you know, for 2 hours a month for an affiliated company. Could even be one of your suppliers. That's not novel, but it's not done very often. So I suppose it is novel.
Well, Neville, this is a very large subject, and there is obviously elephant, a big one in everybody's mind. It's there, but I think there is one more subject. I think we will talk some other day. Is about a monkey with a banana in a room. So I think you have to lead it to that point.
You sure it's not an elephant with a banana? No, we'll leave that for another day. Always a pleasure chatting with you, CK. Good luck, everybody. It's only Tuesday.
And you have a good day, Neville. We will catch up tomorrow in Sauti Wednesday.
Sauti Wednesday. My goodness, it comes around again. Have a nice day, CK. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye.